everyone, welcome to Special Presentation with Mike and Ethan. Or,
Help will not be seen tonight.
once in a while we get completely off the rails and we actually forget to talk about what we intended to talk about in the previous episode. Or previous two episodes in this case. This is breaking our, breaking our record from the Big Johnson Shirts episode. We went two whole episodes without talking about the thing that we intended to talk about the first time.
I mean, and technically, we considering that, like, we meant to talk about the Rube Goldberg movie, and we ended up talking about the Rube Goldberg Award, there's at least a tangential relationship.
I suppose so. I guess I can admit that it has something to do with what we were talking about, because we actually did learn more about Rube Goldberg in the process than that we wouldn't have known if we had just launched right into talking about the movie Soup to Nuts. If you might remember from 2 weeks ago, we intended to talk about Soup to Nuts, but we got a little distracted.
Yeah. Oh, Soup to Nuts. What a great title for a movie that has nothing to do with Soup to Nuts. Nothing at all.
Except for that little opening thing at the beginning about, there can be no peace in the house while man slurps his soup. There can be no peace in the house while woman throws her nutshells on the floor for man to step on in bare feet. But somewhere between the soup and the nuts, we may find happiness.
Yeah, possibly in the fish, possibly in the applesauce. That really has nothing to do with the movie either.
No, that feels like you're setting it up for like a wedding drama, and it's not.
No, it's a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, it really is nothing. I can definitely see why. This is only known for being the first appearance of the group that would later become the Three Stooges, and B, why they allowed it happily to dance into the public domain.
Yeah, it's I think we started to say on the original Soup to Nuts episode that we tried to do that part of this might be just like, the age of the movie, because it's from 1930 and film has changed so much that like something that spoke to the audience of 1930 might not speak to us today. But at the same time, I think I have seen films from the era that like held my interest more than Soup to Nuts.
This is a talkie, but Metropolis will sure hold your attention better than this did.
Yeah,
Nosferatu. Shoot.
yeah. This is. It's okay. So the basic the plot, such as it is, doesn't really matter because the movie. It forgets the plot almost as much as we forget to talk about the actual thing that we're supposed to talk about.
Yes. Yes, as a matter, it certainly forgets what we like to call the promise of the premise, which is it promises you a Rube Goldberg movie, and then you really don't get much Rube Goldberg in it.
No, I mean there's one Rube Goldberg machine and several wacky inventions, but it's really they're really not very important for what happens in this film because instead, I guess the closest thing to a plot is it's one of those kind of we got to save the community center type movies.
Yeah,
where. Yeah, it's because there's
but not with breakdancing, not this time.
No. It is, and it's not a community center. It's a costume shop.
Yeah, and it's a costume shop that you would really think that costumes would focus more into the plot, but no, it's really much more about the selling of costumes than it is about dressing up in costumes. So it's like the movie that. It's the movie that adult Ghostbusters fans want to see, where it's all about carefully managing the business of a ghost hunting firehouse.
Yeah, it's there's a bit of romance in here. It's a very 1930 take on romance, which is basically just that like characters see each other and fall in love, and
Yeah.
that's the extent of any sort of development we get about the romance. We're just like, oh, they're two hot people in this movie. I sure hope that they end up together. And when I
Yeah.
say hot, it's a 1930s level of hot. So yeah, they're all
So they
like,
look almost identical to the people who are supposed to not be hot.
yeah. The only difference is that some of them have more Brill cream in their hair than others. But
Yes.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
God.
So between this and the romance of Betty Boop, this has been a very brill creamy month for us.
Yes. Although, like, I think sometimes we watch movies and, like, we kind of expect them to suck, but they charm us. They win us over. And, I mean, like, I felt that way about The Romance of Betty Boop, where I was like, I was waiting for it to suck, and it ended up being like, oh, this is delightful. I love this. And, this is one where I was like, I am mad at this film, and I'm
Yeah.
just getting madder every minute of screen time because
Yeah, I was
everything.
expecting it to charm me, and it failed.
Yeah, this is a film where like everything about it feels like it is calculated to like just aggravate and irritate you. You know, I God. Well, let's talk about the plot is really not that important, so I guess we're gonna talk about our characters. I think because
Yeah.
it's more of a let these. It's more of a we have some characters. We're gonna let them do stuff type of film. Um,
I want. It
and
feels like, with the exception of the actual Rube Goldberg machine, this movie feels very improvised.
it does, but at the same time, extremely. It's very obviously not.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
like
over. It's extremely overplotted, but then it's like they forgot to write a script for it, so they knew what was supposed to happen. They just had to fill time until it happened.
yeah, there's a lot of kind of um, wacky banter, and it's that everyone talks in that kind of 1930 like newspaper jargon. So
Yes.
it's a lot of like yeah, see, we're gonna yeah, see, yeah, give Socrates, see, and and boy, there's a lot of threatening to beat up women in this movie.
Yeah.
um, but okay, so our main guy, we got a main guy in this. His name is
Ted.
Ted. Ted.
Ted. I'm
Um,
guessing he is in fact Ted Healy.
oh, is Ted Healy a guy?
Ted Healy, I believe he's the guy that produced the Three Stooges shorts. So
Oh, okay. Well, he's he's a guy.
he is a guy. I mean, he is. I mean, there's very little to him apart from that. Inexplicably, although he works at this costume shop, he spends most of his time, while on the clock at the costume shop, hanging out at a fire station half a city away.
Yeah, he just hangs out with these incredibly irritating firemen.
Yes, these are the not yet Three Stooges. We
Yeah.
have we have Mo, Shemp, and I believe Larry. I don't think Curly
Yes.
had joined yet.
No, no. This is yeah, that's right. It's Mo Shimp and Larry, and this is a young Larry, so he has his hair is combed. He doesn't
Yes.
have the kind of wild kind of like semi fro that he gets later on.
Yeah.
Um,
Now I recognize Larry because he is the inspiration for the voice of Stimpy, but I didn't hear that in this one, so he hadn't yet developed that Larry voice.
yeah, you can. He's got. It's very proto Larry here. He's
Yeah.
got this kind of nasally whine that he does, and it's not quite the Larry that we've come to know and know in later Stooges.
Yeah, they were not.
Um,
I mean, again, these are not yet the Three Stooges. They're like, the three singing dudes or something like that.
yeah. There's a fourth who manages to be more irritating than the Three Stooges.
Yes.
Um,
Okay. You know how we talk about Filmation's Ghostbusters? This is Filmation's Harpo Marx.
Yeah. Oh man, I hate this guy. I hate this guy so much. Um, he's like, yeah, he's like you said, he is kind of an ersatz Harpo Marx type. He's I don't know. I feel like I have seen this type of character in like so many cartoons, you know, where there's like he's a little guy, he's silent, he kind of like he mumbles, but we the audience never hear what he says.
What's the name of the sidekick to Clyde Crash Cup?
I don't know.
But that's exactly who
Actually,
he reminds me of. Just somebody who tugs at your cuff to whisper something to you.
yes, yeah, that's kind of his. That's his vibe. He is. He's. They give him these big, weird, fake eyebrows, so I guess that's his like thing. You
Yeah.
know.
You know what he really
And
reminds me of? You remember the Mystery Science Theater short with Here Comes the Circus? Remember how
yes.
there's a clown dressed as an orangutan cop? That's what he looks like to me.
Oh yeah. There is. I think one of the things that like. I mean, I'm being unfair. I mean, I don't know if you, the audience, will find this guy as supremely irritating as I do. I think something when I see him do that like kind of like walk that he does with his like feet turned out
Yeah.
and wearing those big goofy shoes. Um, it's the sort of thing that's like I'm like, oh, the movie was very confident that I would be amused by him wearing funny shoes.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm sorry that like and I'm sorry if I were like I guess if I were a Rube in 1930 and I was used to going to like the circus and seeing an actual clown, I would probably be like, "Oh yeah, this is funny because this is what I'm used to." But as a sophisticated 2026, person, I look at that and I'm like, "This is so beneath me humor
Yeah.
wise." Um,
Well,
I
I know
just
one Rube liked him, Rube Goldberg.
yeah, yeah, for real. They give him a lot of screen time,
Yeah.
and
And,
he's
it
just
does turn out that he is the hero of the whole movie.
yes. When that happened, I'll admit it. I was when we finally get to the payoff of that like running gag, I nearly threw my computer across the room in just rage. So I guess it had the effect that it intended to, you know?
Yeah. If you think of this movie as trolling you, it becomes a lot more charming.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I can't say that, like, the movie didn't, like, have. I mean, I think that's kind of the effect it's supposed to have. You're supposed to be like, oh, God. But, like, you endure this film, and then finally it's just like, that's what's
Yeah.
going on. Oh my god.
Wouldn't be the
Um,
first time I've been groaned off stage.
yeah. I mean, that is this film is like things happen and then they resolve and it's over, you know.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, it's mostly like kind of like a string of random gags, and how much you like this movie will probably depend on how funny you find these gags. I think I might have laughed or chuckled sensibly one time in this film. I'll say this: like some of the Stooges bits were clever, and I probably would have been more forgiving of them if I was watching a Three Stooges short, where instead of an hour-long movie, because now in an hour-long movie when the Stooges are doing it, I'm like, yeah, I mean, I have to admit that's clever, but like, I'm so mad at this point that I don't have the grace to to extend anymore. Um, but I really don't like that that Erzatz Harpo Marx guy. Every time he's on stage, I'm just like, get the fuck out of my face, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And there's never any explanation. Why is he mute? It's not important. Why does he literally walk like a chimpanzee with his arms in the air? No, never mind.
Yeah. In fact, the fact that we're dealing with like firemen, that is another very strange aspect of this film.
Why
Because
firemen?
they're the costume shop guy Ted, who spends all his time hanging out with the firemen, playing checkers, and the firemen are involved with putting on the firemen's ball, which
Which I guess is a thing.
I I assume that it's like a reference like to the policeman's ball, which I did not think was an actual thing. I thought it was just a joke people talked about, like getting
Yeah, it's
tickets.
like, I'm sorry, state policemen don't have balls. Oh my god.
So I feel like this is like a weird thing where it's like where it's like people make the joke about the policeman's ball enough that at a certain point people just start assuming that policemen actually throw balls, and then you're
Yeah.
just like, oh, then it's kind of it's a natural assumption to think that if policemen throw balls, firemen probably also throw balls, and it just becomes this kind of cascade of like assumptions based on a faulty premise. And it's interesting to think that in 1930, the concept of the policeman's ball was so hoary that like it was already leading to these sorts of conclusions. I'm just guessing. Maybe Rube Goldberg knew exactly what he was doing, and I'm just but yeah, there's a fireman's ball,
I found a
and
movie from 1967 called The Fireman's Ball, but it's like a Czech movie that's available in the Criterion Collection.
oh, I mean, maybe firemen do throw balls. I don't know. I've never been a fireman.
Nope. Yeah, I'm not quite sure if Ted here is a volunteer fireman or if that was even a thing at the time.
He doesn't have a uniform, so I'm assuming that he is not anything associated with the firemen.
No, he just
he's
hangs
just
out with them, and when they go somewhere in their fire truck, he goes with them. So he's like a fire truck remora.
he's like their mascot, I guess. It's there is a bit near the beginning of this movie that like really sets the tone for the film early on, which is when Ted is hanging out with the firemen, and he gets a phone call from one of two women in the movie.
Yes. This is the one
Now,
who is his girlfriend that he says he's crazy about, and then they hurl insults at each other for 5 minutes.
yeah, it's
Insults and
very much.
threats.
Yeah. It's that kind of 1930 thing where it's like, I'll knock your block off. I'll knock your block off. And like that. So, okay.
I'll knock your block off. I'll sink your battleship. I'll wake
Yeah.
Daddy. I'll spill the beans.
Yeah, it's like, it's a lot of, there's a lot of, I won't say witty banter. There's a lot of banter in this film. But she gets a phone call from her. She's mad because he is shirking his duties at the costume shop. And as he's speaking to her on the phone, the firemen just decide, let's start rehearsing for the fireman ball and just start singing. And so this sets up this very long sequence where Ted and the annoying mute firemen keep trying to cut like cords going to, for some reason, sandbags in the rafters, which I thought was a theater thing. I don't know why firemen have
Why
it.
why does the fire department have suspended sandbags? Is it specifically because they employ bad singers?
I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing. Nearly everything in this movie feels like a canned joke,
Yes.
It's like things happen specifically so that they can make a joke, and it's just like, no one would. Why are they singing like that at this point? Like, just because they're really being assholes. But it's like, oh, it's so we can do these sandbag jokes. But it's like, okay, they're gonna cut these things. They're gonna hit in the head with a sandbag, and
But then
I
they
guess
don't.
it's funny.
Nobody
No, they
gets
don't.
hit in the head with a sandbag. They miss, and then he, urges them to move closer to one of the other sandbags, and they cut it, and it misses, and they don't even react. They don't even notice that this 50-pound sandbag came down an inch from their heads. So then he instructs them to bend down so all three of their heads are underneath another sandbag, and he cuts it, and it hits the monkey guy instead.
Yes. It's laughs aplenty. Well, anyway, this involves. So eventually, our man Ted gets called back to the costume shop where his girlfriend is, I guess, in a conversation with like some sort of dandy.
Yeah, there's this a guy from the previous decade, from a guy from the turn of the century, with who's dressed like he's dressed like Teddy Roosevelt out for a stroll in the park.
Yes, it's Turner D Century here,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
yeah, he's got like, yeah, he's got the straw boater, he's got a monocle. I mean, she's there, and my assumption is like, oh, okay, clearly this is some like, rich nitwit who is putting the moves on, Ted's girlfriend, and he's gonna have to win her back. Probably he's trying to buy the costume shop and shut it down or something like that.
Yeah.
Nope, he plays no role in this film. He's just there. He
Yeah,
shows
yeah.
up. Yeah.
Ted is actually accurate when he finally shows up at the costume shop, and she says, "I want you to meet Mr. Throckmorton. He's an aviator." He's like, "You called me over here for that?" And he's right, because that nothing else comes of this.
Yeah, it was like, I mean, I did they set it? Was there a joke in there somewhere? Did they set up a joke about that? I'm not really sure. Because it's like, he doesn't look like an aviator at all. He just looks like a nerd. And he does show up at various points in the movie to have things fall on him, like a gigantic kind of anti-Semitic mask at one point.
Yeah, what is that? It looks like a Shrek mask, and he spends like 5 minutes clearly holding it to his face while he goes, "Help! Help! Who put the lights out?"
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, but he really plays no part in this movie. He's a guy. While Ted is busy hanging out at the fire station, this aviator hangs out at the costume shop apparently. But he is not like involved in anything. Apparently Ted's girlfriend just really wanted to show off that there's an aviator around. I mean, I guess in 1930 that's exciting. I mean, planes are like a new thing. So.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
But,
he flies one of those new planes with only 7 wings.
Oh, well, it's like, he's a regular Red Baron. But then we get Ted introduces us to the owner of the costume shop,
Mr. Schmidt. Yeah.
Mr. Schmidt, who is Uncle Otto Schmidt.
Yes.
Now he is. So he's the costume.
He's Swiss, I think. Is he the Swiss one, or is that the other guy?
You know what? It's unclear. I mean, they might both be Swiss. They hang out together, so they're probably like in a lodge together. So I'm gonna assume he's Swiss.
They're in a Swiss colony beef lodge.
Yeah, I mean, it's what makes Christmas special. Well, I mean, I don't know how you feel about it. How do you feel about beef logs?
No one has ever given me one.
Oh, so you're not a fan?
I've never had one. I mean, is it the same thing as a summer sausage?
Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's beef log, what a treat. A hefty hunk of processed meat. Dipped in mustard, oh, what joy. I'm a jolly beef log boy.
Well, I could have told you that.
Well, Ethan, I have to disagree. Cheese log is the log for me. Oh, God. It's the Brack Show featuring Brack. Anyway. So here's the thing. Otto Schmidt is the guy who invents the Rube Goldberg machines in this movie.
Yeah.
Or machine, singular.
Yeah.
Which I actually was kind of like, wait a second. As everyone knows, that's not accurate, because Rube Goldberg machines are invented by Professor Gorgonzola Butts.
Yes.
So this is not canon. Or
yeah,
I think.
But eventually we discover that a reason for this. So I guess it would have been a little too confusing for Professor Butts to actually serve his own creator in a restaurant.
Oh yeah, that's. I'll give them that. I will give them that. Okay, so Mr. Schmidt he owns a costume shop, but in his spare time he invents shitty inventions.
Yes, I mean
That
like sub Gallagher level.
Yeah. Like, and here's the thing. There's a sequence now where he basically is showing Ted all his latest inventions. One of which is like basically a feather duster you attach to your wrist, and therefore, as you eat soup, it in theory brushes crumbs off your lapel.
In theory,
Which,
yeah. But he doesn't even say, crumbs. It's for gravy. It's like, that's just going to smear the gravy even worse. Come on. I mean,
yeah,
this is not even chindogu.
no, it's not very. It's not going to work. But I think more offensive than just the banality of the inventions is the fact that uh, boy, Ted and Herr Schmidt here, they are so amused at their own jokes in this
Yeah,
scene.
they are just howling with laughter at their own jokes here,
Yeah.
and it's just not it's just they aren't that good. I'm sorry.
No, it's like I have not seen anyone. This is like watching the gobbledygooker come out of its giant egg when they're like, the crowd loves him. No, we don't. This is just. It's really kind of like, especially because this is a 1930 movie, so there's I don't. There's very little in the way of non-diegetic music in this
Right.
film. It's so
Everything is either performed or sung for you.
yes. So, there's no soundtrack, which means that they'll tell a joke and then there'll be these long lingering silences before it just like fades to black. And so I guess they have to fill it with their own laughter, but like it just feels very like, oh, okay, I'm you guys are having fun, so good for you. I mean, I'm not in the audience, but like, you know, um but yeah, so he has this gravy invention, and he has this other are these real, these noodle things?
Oh yes, okay. What I have shared with Mike are some examples of the Japanese art of chindogu, which is very specific inventions, which including here a frill that goes around your face like a frilled lizard, so you don't spatter your hair or clothes with noodles while you eat them. A baby onesie with a mop filaments all over it, so the baby can clean your floor while he crawls, and a pair of chopsticks with a fan attached so it cools your food. And this is the kind of thing that Uncle Schmidt is inventing.
Yeah, because he also invents a self-tipping hat, which it's like a little spring thing that you have under your hat, and it makes your hat pop up. If you see
Yeah.
a pretty lady,
If
I
you see a
guess.
pretty lady on a cold day, it means that you can tip your hat without taking your hands out of your pockets. So it's like,
Yeah.
great, you've invented the mitten.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in 1930 this was a problem. So he saw a need and he fixed it. And Ted is like, oh, I wouldn't get much use out of that. I don't know any ladies. And Otto like laughs his ass off at that.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, okay. I think do we have any other inventions? There's like, he does show like some kind of Rube Goldberg thing before he shows the big
Kind of.
Rube
Yeah,
Goldberg
he
one.
has a automatic tea sweetener. It's a it's a sugar cube that he puts on a small seesaw and then sends a pool ball down a Hot Wheels track, and it launches it right into the cup, which looks pretty great. But then it zooms out and shows that the floor is absolutely crawling with sugar cubes and probably ants.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of funny, just because uh, it's like, yeah, we're acknowledging these machines don't work.
But I don't feel like that's the appeal of Rube Goldberg machines. At least not today. It might have been at the time. The idea that what makes them funny is that they do work, not that they don't. You
Yeah,
know, as
yeah,
I the first Rube Goldberg cartoon I ever saw was a system for keeping your screen door closed, which basically which involved giving a monkey a bowling ball, which he would throw at the bowling pins pointed at your screen door. And it said, your expert bowler monkey will get frustrated, just hitting fake pins all the time. So be sure to take him to the bowling alley now and then to keep up his motivation.
Yeah, the actual Rube Goldberg machine we see in this also does have like an animal element to it.
Yes.
But
animals in Rube Goldberg things always sit quietly and do nothing until the single stimulus.
Yes, which is impressive because this is a cat, and getting a cat to do anything specific is difficult.
I won't even put, my cat George will spend hours on my mom's lap, but not if I put him there.
Yeah, you know how they are. They got minds of their own.
Yeah.
But I do like this cat where we see it several times over the course of the movie, and it is just sitting there, So,
you ever play The Incredible Machine?
I remember it. That's that video game, right? But,
yeah, it's a video game that basically works exactly like a Rube Goldberg device, where you assemble. It has a nice physics engine where you can, have baseballs and tennis balls and so forth falling into things and starting fans and so forth to so there's wind and everything. And one of the elements of it is a cat and a mouse and a man and an alligator. So.
Oh, okay. I have never played it, but I do remember seeing it.
One thing that's really funny is that there was a version for the PlayStation made by Capcom. So they replaced So instead of just being the Incredible Machine, it was specifically the Incredible Ghosts and Goblins Machine.
Oh, okay.
So they replaced the little person with Sir Arthur and stuff like that.
Okay, that's kind of cute. I mean, I definitely like Ghosts and Goblins. So
yeah, love Ghosts and Goblins.
Yeah. So this one, I'm trying to remember how this machine works.
Okay, so the idea is that when there is a large button that looks like a diner chair situated underneath the window, where if a burglar crawls in your window to raid your house, he'll step on this giant button, and that will result in a mallet coming down and striking him on the head, and then he is supposed to spin around when he gets hit with a mallet, enabling a giant shoe to kick him out the transom, where he falls down a slide onto a spinning carousel. No, the carousel isn't spinning already. Him falling on it causes it to spin. And and there's actually a mouse on it that will stimulate the cat, who has been waiting there patiently all its life to go after the fake mouse. The cat has a string tied to his tail that will tip over a bucket over Uncle Schmidt's bed to wake him up and let him know that there's a burglar. And the burglar, I guess, is supposed to just sit there patiently on the spinning rack to be arrested.
Yeah. It's it's a Rube Goldberg machine.
Yeah, and I guess this is why I wonder if the humor was supposed to be that it didn't work, because the very first thing we see happening is it not working, and then when it is supposed to be work, it clearly doesn't work, and then they just cut it to work instead with a camera cut.
But they're all very enamored with it. They think it's great. Schmidt and Ted, they think this thing's great. But unfortunately, the issue here is that Schmidt, I guess, spends all his time making wacky inventions, and Ted is wasting all his time down at the firehouse. So the costume shop is out of business. Yes. And it is about
Uncle
to be...
Schmidt says, "I am a bankrupt."
Yes, it's about to be taken over by his creditors, and he can't. And Schmidt is like, "Don't tell Louise," even though I guess she's his niece, and it's like, "Oh, she's gonna figure." I mean, eventually she'll figure it out when you no longer own the shop, But then, like the creditor, the creditor's handsome, son shows up with these three guys who look like they're from,
They look like they're right out of a Dr. Seuss book, honestly.
yeah, I was gonna say they look like the two beard twins in Doctor T from
Yeah,
the
yeah.
and it's just like they show up and like the what's her face, the secretary is like, yeah, they heard my costumes, they're funny looking enough already, and it's like one of those things where it's like, yeah, they are really funny looking because you dressed them up that way for the
Yeah.
purposes of this joke. So
Again, yeah, a canned hunt joke. So
yeah, I guess they're supposed to be the efficiency men or something. So
yeah, I guess it's very efficient if you all dress the same.
yeah, that's true. There you go. But what are you gonna do?
And they all try to crowd into the door at the same time, much like the Three Stooges. So I wonder if this is Larry, Shemp, and Moe in a dual role.
Oh, I mean, maybe. I mean, the Stooges were, they were earning their keep,
Yeah,
I guess, in this movie. But anyway, so I guess the Louise finds out, but she also sees the guy,
Yes. Yeah,
and
they
they
have.
fall in love.
They have an incredibly efficient meet cute, where not only do they have a cute meeting, they also try on funny hats together immediately.
Yeah. And this results in basically, for all intents and purposes, the problem of the movie is now solved because like they're like, we got to save the costume shop, and the guy, the son of the creditor who like is been sent to run the shop is like, well, I'm gonna secretly save the shop too, and just like send my family lawyer to like buy a bunch of costumes to save the shop, so everything's fine. Everything's there's no problem really. But for some reason, but Schmidt gets mad because he doesn't want to just be he's got his pride. So then he goes off and starts hanging out with his friend Gus, who runs apparently a Swiss restaurant. And
I don't know if it's actually a Swiss restaurant. But it's he is Swiss, but the restaurant's only reflection on that is that it's called the Yodel Inn.
Yes. Well, when we first meet him, he is there's a guy in the restaurant, a customer, and there's this bit where Gus, the proprietor of the Yodel Inn, is just yelling at this guy, sauerkraut, apparently trying to point at something on the menu, I guess, to tell him that's a dish you can get or something.
Yeah.
So which makes me assume oh, okay, I guess it is maybe a Swiss restaurant, or at least Central European, wherever, whatever countries they eat sauerkraut in. But this guy is just like, oh, sorry.
What kind of Swiss food have you had?
Well, mostly fondue. They're very fond of that.
Oh, I didn't know that was Swiss. Okay, I thought it was French, but
I'm sure that the French eat it too. I don't think it's exclusively a Swiss thing, but that's a big thing there. Of course, they love cheese. It's kind of known for that.
Yeah, I couldn't think of any Swiss food besides cheese and chocolate and Swiss colony beef log.
Those are the main ones, really. They put cheese on everything. Yes, yeah, we don't eat those. Well, you could, I guess, once. But so we basically have let me think. So the Swiss. So this guy Gus is all like sauerkraut, and this guy is like no, and bring me water. And this guy is eating his own sandwich then in the restaurant. He brought his own sandwich.
He brings his own sandwich, with his after tucking the tablecloth into his waist like a bib, and asks for hot water for the tea bag that he himself brought, and then Gus is like, "Do you want anything else?" He says, "Yes, tell the orchestra to play The Best Things in Life Are Free."
It's like, rub salt in the wound, I guess.
Yes.
It's
people just come to this restaurant to be assholes.
Yeah. I mean, the Swiss.
Yeah.
If you met them, you'd want to be assholes to them too.
Most of all, Rube Goldberg himself, who isn't buying anything. He's just opening his fan mail in this restaurant.
Yeah. He's got a lot of it too.
Yeah, which is really hilarious because Uncle Otto sees this. He says, "I know cartoonists. Cartoonists, they are all alike." And he doesn't follow up on that. So it's like, what? They all go into restaurants to open their mail? What are you talking about?
Do you think Rube Goldberg got a lot of fan mail? Like, do you
Oh, I'm
think that was a
sure.
thing?
I will bet that anyone who does something with a formula like that, you get millions of people sending in ideas.
You're probably right. He was like the pluggers of his day.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked before about how much I love the Dream of the Rarebit Fiend, and
Mm.
there's at least one Rarebit strip where he didn't sign it. He didn't sign it Windsor McKay. He signed it Silas for some reason. That was his nom de plume for that particular one. And there's one strip that ends with the guy who just woke up from the dream going, "I'm going to send that dream to Silas."
Oh, huh. Interesting.
But I don't know if he actually took other people's dream ideas. They probably just sent them to him, and he was like, "Well, might as well acknowledge it."
Yeah. That's interesting because he otherwise he would have basically been doing Slow Wave if you ever
Yeah.
read that comic, which is surprisingly funny actually
Yeah.
because it's like that's what dreams are like.
Or Deep Dark Thoughts. That's one that I like.
Oh, yeah, same vibe. But so people are just coming to this restaurant to be assholes, including Rube Goldberg, who wants to remind us that he gets a lot of fan mail because he's a big wheel. He's Rube Goldberg,
And he doesn't have a device to open his fan mail or anything like that.
No, you're right. He really should have. He's really not. It's
Maybe
funny
he's
that it's like.
Considering that this movie is full of his sculpture, maybe he wanted to show off that he was more than just wacky inventions.
Oh, true. I mean, he did win the Reuben Award for his sculpture, so
Yeah. 40 years later.
yeah, he's playing the long game. Okay, so but then this is a thing where now Gus and Otto kind of commiserate about their problems, and it's okay, so
Then
they
start
do this
playing
bit.
klezmer.
Oh yeah, but then they have they have this liquor that Gus has. They share a bottle of booze, and he's like, "Is it any good? My son-in-law's on a boat."
And he tastes
Okay.
it and goes, "You should have more son-in-laws."
Yeah, they're really Then it's like, wow, So they drink it, and then I guess Then Gus is like, "You should be a waiter in my restaurant," and he's like, "Okay," and then he's a waiter.
Yeah, he says, "You don't have to, I don't need to wait tables, but you can put on aprons, sit around." Which is really,
Yeah.
it's like that's a good friend. I like that. Honestly, I feel like the friendship between Gus and Otto is the strongest part of this movie.
I mean, it's the one thing that feels like it's an actual movie as opposed to just like, oh, we're setting up a gag,
Yeah.
Although they do set up some. Well, here they do that thing where they decide to basically they start playing instruments because I guess they're in a band together and they're going to get the band back together.
Yeah, Gus plays clarinet and Otto plays trombone.
Yeah, and I guess they get drunk, and then Otto is playing his trombone drunkenly around town, and people are trying to drop flower pots on him. And this is like, it's funny that they're going to drop a flower pot on this guy. This is just we've completely forgotten about the costume shop by this point.
What would be? I'm surprised that he's playing trombone and he's not playing a warbly version of "How Dry I Am" or anything like that.
Yeah, that's a good point. This is so it's a little more it's not 100% as stereotypical as you would have thought.
No, and his niece is waiting for him, and she's got another one of those sculptures. It's like, man, Rube Goldberg has got sculptures all over town.
He's very popular. That's why he
There's
gets
one
all
of
that
the
fan mail.
firehouse. There's one of the costume shop. There's one of the restaurant. There was one in Uncle Otto's house. I don't know if there's even any other sets in this movie. Maybe there's one in the building that's burning down.
Oh yeah. There's that too. That's right. They wow, the whole. Yeah, that's right. I forgot. That's gone too. Okay. So basically, now what happens is they realize that there's an Italian restaurant nearby that has a guy singing out front. So they decide, what if we make this restaurant like super Swiss, like, with, well, the waiters can wear lederhosen, and we can sing Swiss music and all this stuff, right? We're gonna paint like. I did think it was interesting where he's like, we're gonna paint fake mountains out back, and Gus is like, fake mountains, and he's like, yeah, not real ones. It's like, oh, artificial, and it's like,
Uh,
huh?
what?
What?
Who?
Yes,
What?
yeah.
Am I having a
I was like,
stroke?
I'm not sure what the joke is. There appears to be a joke there, but I don't know what it is.
Artificial mountains. Artificial mountain flavor.
Yeah, it was the joke that Gus doesn't know what the word fake means, and he's like, "Oh yeah, artificial. Okay, I get it. Oh, okay." But like, at this point again, Otto is like, "Well, I'll break into my own costume shop and steal some lederhosen, and we can give that to the waiters, and that'll be the thing." And it's like, "Oh, okay, I guess we're back to the costume shop." Um,
Yeah. Oh,
but
in between this, the niece found out because they wanted to go specifically to this restaurant because they have like the best hot dogs and strudel,
yeah,
and they didn't realize that Uncle Otto was working there, and I guess it's we're supposed to be ashamed that this is his new job, but why? What?
yeah. Well, also, it's like it's this thing where, okay, because the son of the creditor basically tells the family lawyer, go and order like a whole bunch of costumes from this failing costume shop. We're gonna prop it up, right? And let Ted think that he's like a really great salesman and is making doing this. So the lawyer does this, and Ted is like, well, we made a lot of money, and so they're like, to celebrate, we're gonna go to the Swiss restaurant. And Ted knows that Otto is working there, so he has to stop this from happening. So he's like, okay. So he calls Otto and is like, I'll go in and come in and warn you so you can hide before your niece comes in. And then they get in a taxi and they start going to the restaurant. But then Ted sees that there's the fire truck is leaving, and he just jumps out and jumps onto the fire truck and just goes with them. And
What the hell is he thinking?
I mean,
And
yeah,
it turns out that they're not even going to a fire; they're going to pick up chicks.
yeah. Well, it's weird because it's like, I assume he's like, oh, the fire truck will get me to the restaurant faster. But he's making a really big assumption that the restaurant is on the way to this fire.
Yeah.
And also, if it's weird because I don't know, like, Ethan, if you and say a couple friends were like, we're going to a restaurant, you get in the taxi, and then about like halfway there, one of your friends jumps out of the taxi, jumps onto a passing fire truck, and just takes off, you'd probably be like, what the fuck is happening?
I mean, I guess it would depend on how well I knew this friend. I mean, I would, if it was you and I in a taxi, I would certainly not expect you to jump out and join a fire engine. I'm not sure what kind of vehicle you would jump out of a taxi for, but not that.
No, no. Ethan, do you have a friend who you would be like, if you saw that, you'd be like, yeah, that scans?
Well, not a friend anymore.
Oh. Did you had a friend jump?
We don't speak of him.
Ah, yes, he left you for a fire truck.
I'm choking back tears.
I'm sorry, that's too soon. Yeah, but yeah, so they're only going to pick up chicks, and that is not apparently on the way to the Swiss restaurant. So that fucks up his whole plan. And the girls arrive there sooner, find out that Otto is a waiter, and this has no bearing on anything. Like they immediately are like okay with it. So this was just like kind of a waste of time. But Otto does get mad at some kind of rude customer and trashes the table. So,
Yeah.
there's that.
And thankfully his friend takes completely takes his side and starts battering the customer over the head with his broom. So it was like, man, everyone who works minimum wage's dream is happening right here.
Yeah. Oh man, I mean, I know that there've been times. I know that there's definitely been times when I wanted to do that.
Yes.
Many times. Well, so that happens. They need to get the costumes from the shop now to do this waiter thing.
Yeah, this was what
But
inspired them to get the idea to switch over to a Swiss theme.
yeah, but now it turns out that the fireman's ball is happening too, which is a real thing. They're doing the fireman's ball. But Ted asks not Louise. Yeah, Louise, right? He asks Louise to go to the fireman's ball with him instead of his actual girlfriend. So then he talks to the creditor's kid, and the creditor's kid is like, I want to date Louise. And Ted is like, I got a super great idea. What if we both wear the same costume? So at the fireman's ball, we do the weird switcheroony, and you can basically pretend to be me and date Louise. And I don't.
This is a bad idea. This is an extremely bad idea.
Yeah, I don't know how they think this idea is gonna work. Like, um, and surprisingly, it doesn't work. Actually, I am surprised it didn't work because I kind of thought that it would, even though it's a terrible idea. Yeah. But
You just got to understand, if they explain the plan first, it's not going to work. If they just do the plan, it's going to go off without a hitch. That's how movies work.
Oh, that's a good point. Because otherwise, we need to know what was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. The movie, so it does not work because at the fireman's ball, like Ted is dancing with this one girl, and Louise sits out with the guy who she thinks is Ted, but it's not Ted. But then Ted gets in a fight with someone, and that calls attention to it, and she realizes, that they did the switcheroony, and she gets all mad about it.
Quite reasonably.
Yeah. But then luckily we have about 20 minutes of the Stooges doing Stooge stuff now.
Oh boy, they don't get tired of doing Stooge stuff here.
No, and it's not. I'll say the Stooge stuff is not bad. I mean, if you like Stooge stuff,
I'm not a fan of Stooge stuff, but I mean, I can see why there would be some appeal, especially after all this dry ass stuff with the lame romance subplot. And the thing about should we talk about the guy who's fomenting a revolution?
Oh my god, I forgot all about General Avocado.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. This is another. Okay. So this is another bit that
goes nowhere and comes from nowhere.
Yeah. So Ted is apparently in his attempt to save the costume shop, he's actually trying to do his job, and that means that this guy shows up who is dressed like a clown, and is apparently his name is General Avocado, and he is trying to do a revolution in some foreign country. I assume this is probably supposed to be South America.
Yeah, in the country of Stevedore.
Yeah. I feel like whenever you see in a movie someone's we're doing a revolution, it's always South America. It's always South America has a lot of revolutions. I think there's a bit of, I don't know who had a revolution around 1930. I feel like I don't know. There was probably some country where we were overthrowing a democratically elected president to install a fruit company friendly dictator, But he's got a bunch of kind of buffoonish guys who are going to help him in his revolution.
Oh,
and
actually, before this, we forgot. Two important things happened before this. Two important things happened before this. One is that Uncle Otto sneaks into his own office and gets caught in his own Rube Goldberg machine, which works way better than he would have expected. And the reason it works way better than he would have expected is that they cut directly from the foot missing him to the foot hitting him.
Yeah, they were like, we're not gonna do another take. Just
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and speaking of not doing another take, directly after this, just as his niece is saying, "Here, take these costumes," and shuffling them out the door, we fade away, and then you hear saying 192. They didn't even edit out the voice of the director.
Wow. Well, they didn't have VCRs in those days. So they figured, yeah, people probably won't notice.
Yeah, I guess not. I mean, it would have been really funny if they had like it would have been the funniest joke in the world if they had just hung held on that, and then the camera had sort of drifted over to the director going, "Okay, scene 192, cut." It was like, hey, turn that off.
Yeah, but no, they just they leave it in. So yeah, we've it's what a goof, what a
Yes.
goof.
Oh, and we go
Uh,
directly from this to the second attempt on the part of the little monkey guy to try and hand Ted a note.
yeah, this is a recurring thing. So you're like, oh, this note must be like real important,
Yeah,
and
you're probably you're all this time you're like, what is this note going to be? Is this going to be something really important that's going to save the farm? But Ted continually just tells him to put it away. It's like, I don't want to read it. It's like, come on, man.
yeah, what is it? What is the note? Boy, we're all wondering what is the note,
Yeah,
and
but then again, the little monkey guy is in fact whispering to him, so maybe he does know what the note is, and he's saying no.
yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like it's not time yet. It's not
Yeah.
time yet. Though at the very end, he kind of indicates that like he doesn't seem to know what it is. He's like, all right, put that out. I want to see what that is. But like, yeah. Anyway,
Oh yes. Also,
we.
this is the scene with the woman who looks exactly like Mama Berenstain Bear.
Oh, you mean in the wait? Is she in? She's the one with the kid with the balloon.
Yes, the kid with the balloon. This kid who is intentionally trying to flip over and sit on a balloon.
Oh God. Okay. So here's the thing, right? Um, General Avocado and all his, goofy looking revolutionaries, they come to the costume shop in order to get outfitted for their revolution. They're going to put on a bunch of like military type costumes, right?
Yes.
And,
None of them match. They all come from
yeah,
different armies.
yes. And so they're all doing this. And then for about 20 minutes, this is intercut with this kid who I'm sorry, this I keep looking at this kid and I'm like, is this an actual child or did they get a little person and dress him up as a kid? Because
Oh,
this
he
kid
doesn't
is
look. Does he look familiar to you?
no, he looks very strangely proportioned.
That's
Um,
Billy Barty.
oh, that is Billy Barty, so it is a little person.
Yes, it is a little person, but he is in fact a child at this time too.
Oh, okay. That explains a lot because I was very confused because I was like, that sort of looks like a child, but also sort of looks like a little person. I'm not really sure. Billy Barty.
Little people
Wow,
start out as very little people.
I can't believe Billy Barty is in this movie. That guy
Yeah,
is a career
a real
spanning
celebrity
decades.
finally.
Yeah. I always think of him as, from Weird Al's UHF movie. So I'm
Yeah,
always surprised when I realize he wasn't born old.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I think he said something like, I was in diapers until I was 15, at least on the screen.
yeah. So that explains that. But he is doing basically, he's got a balloon and he's basically running towards it and then he flips and tries to sit on it, right? To pop the balloon.
Yes,
And
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 Mama Bear
several
is just not paying attention to him in the slightest.
yeah, and several things about this. First of all, no, this is not how you pop a balloon. This is a weird way to go about trying to pop a balloon. This is the way that you pop a balloon if you're a fetish model of catering to the lunar crowd. Okay, like this is what you do. But in real life, you don't jump and try and sit on a balloon. That's weird. But
Of course,
also,
and of course, you want to make sure that you get the right lunar crowd because some of them are absolutely horrified that you would pop their friends.
Yeah, exactly. It's very controversial in lunar circles. Now, the other thing about this scene is like this goes on and on and on, and I'm like, look, I clearly know what the joke is going to be. I know what it's going to be. He's going to pop the balloon, and all these revolutionary guys are going to think it's a gunshot and get scared. I know what's going to happen, but like they really telegraph this. They really. I mean, I don't know. Are we the audience supposed to not know what's coming, or are they intentionally telegraphing it so to build the anticipation? I'm not really sure how this joke is constructed.
I don't know. I'm kind of reminded of the joke that Steph told us about when we watched the Shin Chan movie, where all the Americans laugh at one part and all the Japanese laugh at a different part.
Oh, what were they? What were the Americans laughing at?
Okay, well there's a scene where while they are trying to hide from some big mean boys, Shin-chan is hiding under a bucket with a hole in the middle, and his and what the big mean boy sits on top of it. So we see Shin looking up at the hole covered by the butt, and he puts his fingers together to do kancho on him. As in the thing where you jam both of your rigid fingers up somebody's butt. This is apparently a beloved staple of childhood pranks in Japan. So the Americans were so scandalized by it, they all hooted just at the concept. Japanese all knew exactly what was happening, so they laughed when Shin suddenly realized he'd given himself away.
Oh, okay, interesting. Well, cultural differences.
Yes. Cultural differences between people from 1930 and 1926 or 2026.
Man, what a different world.
Yep.
Okay, so I just I'm just not like I'm not getting what the construction of this joke is just so strange to me because I feel like they're like doing it wrong.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like,
Uh,
you should have. I mean, you should have had it. You should have had a twist there. You should have, had the kid fall, hit the balloon, miss, fall, hit the balloon, miss, and then the third time he's like, "Yep, I'm ready, I'm ready," and then his mom pulls out a gun and shoots or something.
yeah, yes, exactly. That would have been funny. That would have been good. But no, it's yeah. I'm not like this whole thing was just like incredibly belabored, and then it's like, oh yeah, it went exactly where I thought it was going to go. Cool. Whatever. So all that happens,
Yeah.
and
And there's some sort of scene at a diner that I don't quite understand that goes for 10 seconds and then it's on to the fireman's ball.
yeah, well, the fireman, yeah, now the fireman's ball, where we get all the stooges doing their routines and
Stooge humor.
stooge humor, and like some of these are okay. Like the bit where Larry basically does this kind of like guess the number bit.
Oh, yeah, that was actually pretty funny, I admit it.
Yeah, like that bit was amusing, but like everything is like just set up so belaboredly that it's really hard to like get into anything. It's just things just drag, and it's like I guess the Stooges are all dressed up like
They're dressed like a baby, a cowboy, and a matador, I think?
yeah, so yeah,
Or
okay,
maybe more of a gaucho? I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. They do their thing. It goes on and on and on. Ted is introducing
And
it.
oh, and of course, Ted is dressed up like, but doctor!
Yes. Oh, Pagliacci. He's yeah.
But
So
doctor, I am Rigoletto. Wait a minute.
and yeah, and of course the guy, the main heartthrob of the movie is also dressed that same way. So this all happens, but meanwhile, oh, sorry. What happens then is once Louise figures out what's going on, she is so scandalized she runs home back to the costume shop, and the guy comes to, But then, by sheer coincidence, some guy is carrying a birthday cake with a bunch of candles in the stairwell, and he drops it, and that sets the building on fire. So,
Yeah,
um,
someone is carrying a lit birthday cake. That's not how it works. You light the
no,
candles and then you sing.
yeah, yeah. But we need to have a fire. We need a big climax. So, since there's a fire, they call the firemen at the fireman's ball, and that interrupts, and everyone has to leave the fireman's ball to go put out a fire, except for the monkey guy who is
Yeah, he's
playing a
playing the
xylophone.
yeah, the vibraphone or something, and he's like, and he's kind of a maestro at it, but nobody's paying attention because they all left.
Yeah. So so they go and first they put out the wrong fire because it's like a I think it's a dry cleaner, and the steam makes them think it's a fire, but it's not.
Yeah, more
So
dangerous than dynamite. Don't
yeah.
wash your clothes in gasoline.
Nope. So they then go to the real fire, and we get some stooge gags as they try to put out the fire. Um, and
A lot
then
of prop comedy, including like a double nozzled fire hose, which I don't know if that's a thing or not.
yeah, I like when they're like, "Oh, it's not gonna work." What are you doing with that? He's like, "Well, I'm in a hurry." It's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, okay." Um,
I'm
Again, like
looking at
some of
the captions for this, and it just says like, all speaking indistinctly, everyone's screaming.
that is a big thing in this movie. Actually, is like there's a lot of people screaming and just talking over each other. You know,
Yeah, it's
um,
kind of like when I watched 2001, and the captions just said something like "heavy breathing, music continues, heavy breathing."
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. Anyway, they put out the fire. The girl and the hero are saved,
Yeah, Larry
and
almost dies.
yeah, but then he doesn't, so it's good. And then the movie's over.
Yeah,
Um,
then the movie's over, and we know the movie is over because the little monkey guy shows up, and they finally read his note, and it's a giant banner that says "The End." So he could have ended this movie 15 minutes in.
yeah, yeah. Like
Suddenly you
again,
realize, my God, he was trying to save us this whole time.
he was the hero we needed this whole time. Yeah, I like again when I saw that at the end, I was just like, God damn it. God fucking damn it. Okay.
I thought I hated you, little monkey guy, but we people rejected his message. Shut up.
Yeah. Though I will say, like right before he pulls out the banner, this is the bit where they're just like, by the way, all any loose ends, let's wrap them right now. The guy is like, oh, the costume shop burned down? Don't worry, I insured it for you, Uncle Otto, so you're gonna get a lot of money. And then Gus shows up and is like, guess what? I got more liquor. Oh, let's leave and go drink. And it's just like, and then it's like, I'm gonna marry you. Let's get married too. And the Stooges are like, we're all right. We'll get on our fire truck and we're out of here. And it's like, everything's fine, everything's over. I'm glad that all solved itself. So
I'm disappointed that it wasn't like, well, let's get married. Yeah, you know what? Let's get married too. And then the Stooges look at each other. Let's get married too.
I mean, they should have. They probably could have gotten away with it, honestly, because
Yeah.
it's the Stooges. But yeah,
I'm a
so
man. Well, nobody's perfect.
yeah, yeah. So that's the end of Soup to Nuts.
Yep.
Again,
We have
title,
finally reached the nuts. Finally.
yeah. And I've once again Soup to Nuts. I believe at one point in the movie they do say the phrase "Soup to Nuts."
Yep.
I think.
Soup to
But
nuts. I don't know. Now it's just lost all meaning. It's like abracadabra. Soup to
yeah,
nuts. Soup to nuts. Soup to nuts.
Soup to Nuts. Yeah, I don't like this movie. I don't like anything about it. I resent this movie so much. And God, Rube Goldberg, really? Well, man of his time.
What a
I guess
rube.
you'd say. What a rube. Whatever. I'm not a fan. How do you feel about Soup to Nuts?
Soup to nuts sucks, but I just discovered that Rube Goldberg actually made a bunch of silent cartoons himself, so maybe this isn't the last we'll see of Rube Goldberg.
Oh, okay. Maybe those are better. Maybe he actually earned that Rube Goldberg award.
Yep.
with his cartoons. Yeah. Anyway, soup to nuts. We actually talked about it for instead of getting derailed as usual.
Yeah, we
So
got all the derailment out on the at the beginning of the thing by just doing a whole other podcast.
yeah.
So so that means I don't need this device I invented where I pull a string and then it makes a mouse run around and that gets my cat to pull over a bucket of water that releases a hammer to hit me on the head to remind me to stay on topic.
Thank you, Professor Butts.
Thank you, Professor Butts. Yeah, that's Mr. Butts to you.